I lost $3,000 of coral the last time I tried to move a tank by myself. This time I was determined it was going to be different. I called some professionals willing to pay whatever the price to get my fish and coral safely moved. However, the world had different plans. A virus escaped China, causing Massachusetts to go into lockdown. The local fish stores said they didn't even know if they could operate. They canceled on me. I called a number of other fish stores and they all had the same story. So I frantically posted on Boston Reefers Society, and some local reefers volunteered to help me out. This was a godsend. This is the story of moving Shark Reef.
So it's the night before the move and we have everything pre-positioned. We're starting really early in the morning. Basically, we have a bunch of black tubs. We've got some buckets. We've got air stones. We've got power supplies. We have everything we could possibly need. We've got trolleys. And now I'm just basically saying goodbye to the tank at the last moment that I get to look at this view at night with this tank. And it's really hard for me to say goodbye. I'm pretty sad right now. This is a great view, a great place to showcase a Peninsula tank like this. The view at the new place is not as spectacular, so I'm just trying to soak it all in. So I'll let you kind of see what I'm looking at, and then we'll get to the move. Here at the place and we're getting ready to move everything. The first thing we're going to do is get all of the coral out of the tank, get it bagged just like we're going to a frag swap, and stick it in a cooler. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out all the rocks. We're going to put the rocks into another container. We're not going to fill that with water though. It's going to make it much too heavy, so it's just going to be rocks in there. So we really want to make sure we get all the living life out of that. Now next we're going to grab all the fish, we'll scoop them up, we'll put them in a container, we'll separate the shark from the other fish so we don't have any too big problems. Sometimes if you have an aggressive tang, you want to separate that because they've got a sharp spine, they could hurt the other fish. So we'll see what we do there. And then we're going to start taking out all of the water from the tank. That's going to enable us to actually move the tank. Time to bag these coral. All right, so this right here is our kiddie pool. This is what we're going to use to pre-stage some of the coral. I don't have enough bags to actually bag them up ahead of time, so kids, make sure you have enough bags. So we're going to set them all here so we can keep moving, getting rock and fish out of the tank. So where are we at right now? We took out a bunch of the rocks. Now, I couldn't get my anemones out of the one rock that they were in. That's a big problem with Kukani being so porous. And so I put that whole rock in another bucket. When I was trying to chip some coral off another rock, my anthias had actually hidden inside the rock and he came flying out onto the floor. So now the anthias is in a bucket too. And so I'm hoping there's no more fish hiding in the rocks. I just have these big flat plates off. I'm gonna chip a couple pieces of coral off of that, and then we should be going after fish. That guy came off really well. Look at this.
And then the cavalry arrived.
got all of the coral out and the rocks out, and so now we're gonna grab the fish and get them into a bucket and then get the rest of the water out.
Oh God. Why didn't you tell me to bring the good pump?
Wait, this isn't the good pump?
Yeah, he's got one that's...
I was told this was the good pump.
This is the pump that we're going to be here for 5 hours.
No, well, it's not a 300. It just took us so long to fill up my 300.
It's just 5 rock.
Wow, holy rock and holy biologs. I never knew this thing was so tall.
Welcome, boys and girls, cats and dogs, chickens and frogs, to the Puff Daddy Reef Fish Catching Challenge. Let's get started!
Big. I didn't do my stuff. There we go.
Hey, you!
Might have to dive in here and grab them.
What?
Not putting up a fight at all. Wrong one. Alright, buddy. Alright, buddy. There you go. Look at that bucket. That was the highlight. That was it. Alright. Go home.
Yeah, put all the fish in there with just one, or with a two pump, like fill it up with this much. One fish gonna ride in the can with us.
We've got most of the water out of the main display. The fish are in buckets. The coral are in a kiddie pool. We're gonna bag them up in a bit. Now we're getting all the wires out and getting the sump ready to get that water out. So now we have all of the wires and cables out from the sump. We're gonna detach these little parts here on the Red Sea Reefer, and then we're gonna unscrew them on the back to get all the pipes out, and then we should be able to get this bottom glass tank out. We gotta undo these connectors here.
Let her rip this shit.
Wow, that fills up quick.
Yeah.
Alright, lift it up, let's see. It's hard to tell if that's stuff that just floated under. Doesn't look too bad.
Don't hit the light.
Alright. Cleaning off the bottom. Look at that. All that coralline algae. Thing that we did wrong is I tried to twist off this little washer here, and this is actually permanently silicone to the tank. So I ripped this one off and we have to reseal that. These things actually come off really easy by hand, so once you get everything out you should just be able to twist it. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we got it out through the door. We did it! It's on the elevator. We got the tank all in there. We got the tank and the sump in there. The stand is in my car. You can hear my car beeping right now because the back hatch of my car is actually slightly open. The dream team all showed up about 10 a.m. and now it's about 2:30 and we have the cars loaded up. So we just found the scissor-tailed dartfish was actually in one of the rocks. So we're trying to find an alternative
Quick, get a bucket, Jesse.
bucket for them. Just give you a quick shot of how we packed this. We have the tank in the bed there, the rocks next to it, and the sump right there. All right, Operation Save the Fish. Woo, it's gotta be the coldest he's ever been.
Yeah. Get him.
Get him in.
All right, he's in with coral.
Woo, this thing is huge. All right, look at this. Red City's gotta step up their anti-rust inspection routine. I don't know. Yeah.
They should be stainless though.
Well, yeah, the fillers aren't. The screws look like they are. So we got the tank situated and we have our sump put in. This is what it looks like to be an aquarium. All right, so we use the suction cups and cardboard to help slide and get the tank onto the trolley. Definitely 3 people minimum for this, but 4 would be nice.
Can we get some light? This is never coming apart. Good.
So we're back at the apartment for round 2. It's time to get the fish and the shark. All right, so we're getting ready to seal up Napoleon. He's in there doing what he does all day. Got some other fish in this bucket. We've been bubbling them all day and you should have enough oxygen to make a 30-minute trip. I'm bleeding. I got stabbed by a coral butte. No, not a coral butte. What is that?
Flame angel.
Flame angel. So this is the final train of buckets. What is in all these buckets?
A shark.
Shark? There's a bucket with a shark in it. Got Napoleon here, the purple tang, the other fish, and a mystery bucket. Trying to keep the anemones alive. This rock is way too big. So everything is loaded up now. We still have a crab in there. Louis is gonna be a chili crab. Welcome to your new home, Napoleon. We're here. We have the stand in place. So we're inside the tank. Very nice and roomy. I think I'm gonna live here. All these silly humans. Everyone needs to get one. A pump with a massively long tube. All right. So we just got the big rocks in. We've pretty much moved the aquarium. We have the fish in buckets in the water, so they're getting acclimated. We're heating up the water of the tank, so they're all gonna get adjusted nice and well. So we're almost done, but the heavy lifting is done.
Carbon and filter floss.
all day,
So we got the fish in here, acclimating in the buckets. And we're setting up the apex. We're gonna use that to control the heaters to get the temperature tuned in. So right now our water is 68 degrees, so we're slowly bringing it up. Once we get it up to temperature and we feel like everything's acclimated, we'll add the fish. I didn't have enough water to make my own water to kind of replace most of the water, so we're using a lot of my old water, which means that we're gonna need to run some carbon to get rid of all this. We're gonna start introducing the fish. These buckets have equalized in temperature, and this thing is now being controlled by the apex. I'm gonna tilt the shark just a little bit. Give Napoleon some of the water from the tank now. This water is probably 60-70% from the tank, and it's salinity matched, same salt, so we're not going to do any drip acclimation. We're just going to tip it and see if he wiggles his way out. Kind of coax the little fishies out into their new habitat. All right, so the other thing we're doing is the coral. We've acclimated the coral. Once again, I'm not doing drip acclimation or anything because this is mostly water from the tank. I don't actually recommend bringing all your tank water to the new location because it's a huge pain, but I had a problem with my RODI system getting it set up, so I didn't have any water available for me. But here they are. And just kind of set them in the bottom of the tank in what looks like a safe spot. All right, so it looks like Napoleon's decided he wants to venture out. He's climbed to the side of the bucket, and he's just deciding what move he should make next. Jeff, what did you learn today?
I learned that moving an aquarium is hard.
Have any advice for like next time things to do?
I would say always have extra water, extra buckets, and more room, more space than you think you're gonna need.
Yeah.
As you can see,
This is like half the apartment.
first floor.
Jesse, what's your advice?
I'd say have good friends. You know, have people that you can count on. Because if you don't have people you can count on, things like this can't ever happen. So it's all about who's in your corner. At the end of the day, surround yourself with people that are gonna have your back. And
It's a big project.
it's definitely a workload, and I don't think this could have happened if we didn't have the amount of people we did. Oh wait, there's only.
And so check out his Instagram.
Boston Coral.
Boston Corals.
One word,
All right, Boston Coral, not plural.
Boston Coral.
Yeah, couldn't do it without these wonderful guys here, part of the Boston Reefers Society. So join your local club.
Thank you very much for joining me as we went through this episode explaining how we move Shark Reef. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell because I'll be dropping the final installment of this series where we'll talk about the aftermath. Who lived, who died, the things that went well and the things that went wrong. For the whole post-mortem, ooh, that doesn't sound good. Check out my channel and the video will be dropping soon. Thanks again for watching. Puff Daddy Reef.